In the hush of dawn, the mountains breathe a secret. A story carried by the wind, written in the stone, and whispered by the rivers of ancient lands. Before the empires, before the kings, there were the Druids. France and Austria, names of modern nations. But once these lands were heartlands of an ancient world, a Celtic world. Stretching from Gaul to the High Alps, this was a civilization that revered the unseen, honoured the spirits of the land and listened to the voice of nature. The keepers of this sacred wisdom were the Druids. To the Druids, the forest was more than shelter, it was sanctuary. Every tree had a spirit, every rock a memory, every stream a voice. They lived in communion with nature, not above it, not beneath it, but within it. The ancient oaks were called nemeton, sacred groves where rituals were held under moonlight and wisdom passed through whispers of leaf and wind. The French Druids, especially in what we now call Gaul, formed a spiritual aristocracy, philosophers, healers, judges, astronomers, but above all, they were guardians of balance. They taught that the human soul was immortal, that it passed through many lives, and that death was not an end, but a return. Further east, in the misty Alps of what is now Austria, the Celtic presence flourished as well. Few know this land by its ancient name, Ostarrîchi, the root of the modern word Austria, a name not of empires, but of spring, Ostarrîchi, the eastern realm, but also, some say, the land of Ostara, the goddess of dawn and rebirth, Ostara, the spirit of spring, fertility and light. In her honour, the Druids of Ostarrîchi celebrated the equinox with fire and flower, eggs and antlers, symbolising life's return after winter's sleep. From these rites would echo traditions still found today, in Easter, in maypoles, in solstice fires. The fruits of the land were more than nourishment. They were offerings, apples, sacred to the Celtic otherworld, berries harvested under full moons, honey believed to carry divine essence, and herbs, wild yarrow, mugwort, mistletoe, each gathered with chant and care, never greed. In the high places, mountains, waterfalls, caverns, the veil between worlds thinned. Here the Druids sought vision and communion. They read the movement of birds, the patterns in fire, the murmur of water. They believed the divine did not reside in temples, but in the living, breathing earth. There were no written scriptures. All knowledge was preserved in memory, song and story. A druid could spend 20 years in training, learning the cycles of the stars, the names of 1,000 plants, the laws of the tribe, and the sacred myths of creation. But the world was changing. As the Roman legions marched across Gaul and the Alps, the old ways were driven into shadow. Sacred groves were cut down, rituals banned, temples built over holy springs, and the Druids were silenced. Yet the spirit of the Druids never died, it lingered. In the customs of the countryside, in folk tales and seasonal festivals, in the hush that falls in the forest after rain, in the mountains of Austria, in the wild heart of France, echoes still remain. Today, some seek to remember, to listen once more to the land, to walk where the Druids walked, and hear what they heard in the wind, in the roots, in the stars. In every dawn, the spirit of Ostarrîchi rises. In every river, the memory of Gaul flows, and in every breath of wild mountain air, the Druids live again. The land remembers. Do we remember as well?